All right. Thank you all for watching. We currently got moderate snow coming down. We got about just under an inch so far. Snow began just about 2 hours ago. There is some very heavy snow coming in from Philadelphia and from the south. I've been looking at the rain snow line, looking at the correlation coefficient where the changeover is, and it stopped advancing northward. I'm guessing it's because of all the dynamic cooling. Yeah, the rain snow line stopped advancing, and the snow is very dry. It's blowing off the cars. Temperatures are now in the mid 20s, around 27 degrees. Ah, man. Air temps on the surface are colder than the models anticipated. Damn. And yeah, this might mean that New York City could stay all snow throughout the storm, which would mean we could end up getting over a foot if this ends up happening. So far, we have light, moderate snow coming down. The heavy stuff is 2 hours south. There is blowing snow, actually, you can see. Putting on my gloves because it's really cold right now. My hands are starting to freeze. Visibility is about 3/4 of a mile. So visibilities are still decent. The heaviest stuff is 2 hours south. Still, you can see those buildings over there. That's about a half a mile away. So they already put snow chains on the bus. So, but the snow isn't that heavy right now, you know. But the roads are starting to becoming a little covered because it was cold throughout most of the day. Temperatures right now are about, in my area, about 28 degrees. In the Bronx, it's already down to 25. In some areas in northern New Jersey, temperatures there are in the 20s. We have primarily dendrites coming down right now, which means the snowfall water ratio is pretty high right now. But as that warmer air from the south comes in, snowflakes will become bigger and more clumped together, which is a sign that the air is getting warmer aloft and more humid. So far we're having this like fine snow, which is indicated of cold air. We still have not even hit the 1 inch mark. Conditions in New York City are still relatively okay. The roads are in good condition. Visibilities are definitely down to about I would say now a half a mile. I would say about half mile visibilities right now, with light, moderate snow and strong winds. Winds are, I say, gusting at 20, 25 right now at strongest. There was a gust of 27 earlier at Flushing. So you can see there's a lot of blowing snow. So this is not a wet snow. This is a dry snow that's coming down. You can see how it's hitting the cars and not even sticking because it's so dry. This is a very dry snow right now that's coming down. If we continue to get a dry snow like this, when the really heavy stuff comes in, we could be getting 2-3 inches an hour snowfall rates with the possibility of thunder snow. But as of now, there has not been any thunder snow, despite how heavy the snow has been coming down across most of the area. There has not been any reports of thunder snow as of yet. So far, we have about, I would say, 3/4 of an inch of snow so far came down. Yeah, actually just about an inch, actually. That's about an inch of snow that just came down so far. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me again. So Winter Storm Gail right now is really starting to intensify here. Visibilities have just dropped down from a half mile to, 3/4 of a mile down to half mile. In fact, that CVS logo, I can barely see it. There's some really heavy snow coming in from the south right now. So far, we only have about a couple inches of snow on the ground. About an inch. But the really heavy stuff is coming in from the south. We're already getting the first band. The changeover line is right around Philadelphia right now and is slowly creeping north. At this rate, we should probably change over to sleet or start mixing with some sleet by around 9 or 10 p.m. here in New York City. By which time about maybe 4 or 5 inches should come down. That is if we get an average of 1 inch an hour. If we get one to two, we could get maybe 8 to 9 inches on the ground by the time it changes over to sleet. The heaviest of the snow is still to my south. We're getting moderate snow right now. Hold on, just got to put on my gloves. Right now I'm heading towards, I'm heading to the Home Depot to get a ruler so I can measure how much snow came down. But already a little over an inch came down. Interesting. I don't know what happened here. So let's see. The snow is very hard to make snowballs out of because it's a drier snow. Looks like somebody got sick. I don't know why they're going in. I don't see any fire. So we're getting some really heavy snow right now here in Queens. This heavy snow extends right down to Philly. Philly is starting to mix with some sleet now. DC has already changed to a mix of freezing rain and rain. Which was expected. So it's like, you have, and this is a really dry snow. This is not a wet snow. So it's not even sticking on the trees. Temperatures right now are around 26, 27 degrees. It was 30 earlier, but we're having a fair amount of dynamic cooling and evaporational cooling because the air was very dry when the snow started. And also, the process of rising air from this approaching storm is also causing temperatures to lower. However, you will be getting some warm air coming in at the mid-level, especially around 700 millibars. So this could change the snow over to sleet or a different type of snow, which is more of a heavier, wetter snow. Even though it will probably be pretty chilly here at ground level, with temperatures being in the low 30s, there is a good chance that a lot of the snow that we're getting right now will change over to a mix of sleet and snow in a few hours. If the changeover does not happen and we stay as all snow, there is a potential for New York City to get about a foot of snow. There's a potential for New York City to have like southern Queens getting sleet and rain, like sleet, snow, and rain, or like a wintry mix, while most of the city will stay primarily as snow. Though some of the models have been taking the snow sleet line north of New York City. While the potential for that is there, that is if the warmer air comes in at the mid-levels. So you have the main road. It's kind of like a slush, but like a colder slush. It's not like a wet slush. It's kind of a drier slush that's not really that wet. That is because of how cold it is. As you can see, the roads are becoming snow covered. And behind me, there's a snow plow right now. Right there. Visibilities now have dropped to about a half a mile, or just under. We're under a winter storm warning, and we have the potential to see 10 to 14 inches of snow, or 8 to 14, according to what the National Weather Service said. And they said areas that see sleet mixing in with the snow will see lower accumulations. If you look closely, you can actually see the snow basically blowing along the ground, which is signifying that it's a dry snow that's coming down. Yeah, visibilities are down to about a quarter of a mile right now, actually. We're having very heavy snow now, with strong winds. There's a building over there. I can no longer see it. That building is only not even a half a mile away. That building is about 3/4 of a mile away, and I can almost no longer see it. I'll be right back. Hey, for joining. I really hope there is no changeover to sleet. I really hope that the GFS is right that there's not going to be any changeover, because the HRRR is saying we're going to have a changeover to sleet in a few hours. And yeah, the HRRR has been wrong a lot of times, but when I want it to be wrong, it's right. So, when there's a model that I want it to be right, it's wrong. And when I want it to be wrong, it's right. Yeah, these computer models are... getting some pretty heavy snow right now. Thing is, the GFS saying surface temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s for most of the storm, but they're actually in the upper 20s right now. So, yeah. And the HRRR is saying temperatures are going to warm up to about 34 degrees at the surface. Well, it's going to be colder aloft, which means that what's going to happen is you're going to have a warm tongue at 700 millibars. So what this means is you're going to have snow from aloft, from high up, changing into rain as it falls to that warm tongue. Then that rain will refreeze into sleet, but because the humidity will be high up, will be very high, from about 850 to about 730 millibars, which is about 120 millibars of sub-freezing temperatures with 100% humidity. You will likely have more cloud and snow formation there. So what you'll have is you're going to have snow coming down with sleet. So you'll have sleet from aloft and snow coming down from lower altitudes. That is if there's a significant amount of warming in a warm tongue. If it's just slightly above freezing, like 33, 34 degrees for maybe a couple thousand feet, you'll probably have partial melting, and then that partially like wet snowflake will refreeze into kind of like a sleety snowflake. Once you lose a snowflake, you cannot get it back. You cannot get back a frozen snowflake. I mean, a melted snowflake. It will refreeze into sleet. Like, even if it's 20 degrees below zero, and you have 100% humidity, you won't have enough time for that frozen droplet to accumulate much condensation. But in that area, you'll have more condensation, so you might form more snow. But the sleet particle, the sleet pellet, will be falling too fast for it to basically get any snow around it. And if it is a sleety snowflake, it'll be coming down faster, and it will kind of feel like sleet when it's coming down. I've seen sleety snowflakes before. Basically snowflakes that hit the ground and kind of spread into a bunch of sleet particles. That's basically partially frozen snowflake, that because it melts, it partially melts and then refreezes. I've seen this before. It's not very common. Well, there's a lot of ice here because temperatures are well below freezing here in the mid-20s right now. So there's a lot of ice here. So the snow that melted earlier has turned into ice. So the water has frozen here. I'm going to check the radar again and the temperatures. I think it's about 28 degrees outside right now. My day's been pretty good. Thank you for asking. Oh, sorry. My day's been pretty good. Oh, there comes my bus.
Stop is Austin Street and 70th Road. Please exit through the rear door. Now arriving at Austin Street and 70th Road.
Doors closing.